26th March 1958. It's the 30th Academy Awards, and for the first time, independent India has sent in its submission to be counted among the best foreign language films. A magnum opus about class warfare and oppression of the poor has made it all the way to the Oscars. Its director and producer Mehboob Khan has put in all his resources into making of this film. Best foreign language film was a category that was open to competition just the year before, and it's a platform the ambitious Khan coveted. He entered his film Mother India, and now it has taken India to the world stage of cinema. In a tightly contested category, unfortunately, the film loses out by one vote. The prize goes to Italian filmmaker Federico Fellini's Night of Cabiria. The shock is enough to cause a heart attack and land Mehboob Khan in hospital. Hello and welcome to A Century of Stories, brought to you by IDFC FIRST Bank, always you first. I'm your host Kunal Vijayakar, and this is the story of Mother India, a milestone in Indian cinema. This cinematic and social epic was the labor of love of Mehboob Khan, a pioneering director who came to Bombay to work as a horseshoe repairer with a horse supplier in Indian cinema. Passionate as he was about cinema, he started to pick up small jobs in the film studios of Bombay, working as an assistant director in silent films and as an extra in the studios of the Imperial Film Company of Adeshar Irani. In fact, he was almost cast in the lead role of Alamara, India's first talkie. But destiny had other plans. He went on to direct instead, shaping the careers of many acting stars, including Nargis, Sunil Dutt, Rajkumar, Nimmi and Nadira, who had their breakthrough roles in his films. While the scale and style of his films were often influenced by Hollywood, Mehboob Khan himself was rooted in the rural realities of India. The relationship between a farmer and his land, the struggles and sacrifices of the working class, the strength of women characters were recurring themes in his films. And they played to heightened effect in Mother India. The drama, the tragedy, the theatrics were of a larger-than-life level. Mother India was a remake of his own 1940 film Aurat, reprising and refining many of the characters and ideas. It was made in a newly independent India, and in many ways, the mother character played by Nargis is an embodiment of everything that happened to India during colonial rule. Just as the mother sacrificed and toiled for her children, the country too persevered to defy the terrible odds and regain its lost glory. It is true that this was India's first film to be nominated for an Oscar, but it is not just its global recognition that makes Mother India a reference point in Indian cinema. It brought with it many firsts that came to define Indian filmmaking for decades to come, be it its rare perspective of being a female-led film at that time, or the archetypal characters that resonated in generations of films to follow, or the technical prowess and vision with which many scenes were shot. Mother India was truly ahead of its time. Hello there! Get ready for a financial game changer. Introducing monthly interest credits on your IDFC FIRST Bank savings account. With IDFC FIRST Bank, your savings account isn't just a place to store money. It's a place where your money grows every month. A unique monthly compounding interest means that you not only earn interest on your balance, but also on your previous month's interest. Imagine the possibilities. You earn interest on interest, which can significantly boost your savings over time. It's like your money is working harder for you. Open your savings account today at idfcfirstbank.com. Speaking to the feminist credentials of the filmmaker, the hero of the film was Radha, a woman farmer who fought patriarchy, poverty, and prejudice to provide for her family and her village. Even today, we discuss the notion of a woman fronting a film. So, a woman firmly carrying a film on her shoulders in 1957 says a lot. Nargis's phenomenal performance crafted the perfect example of the all-powerful mother trope. When the film opened at the Liberty Cinema in Bombay on the 25th of October 1957, it ran for a stretch of over a year, which tells us about the social and cultural impact of such representation. Another significant trope this film gave birth to was that of the angry young man. Much before Amitabh Bachchan's act in the 1970s, Sunil Dutt essayed the brooding bandit, placing him as the nuanced anti-hero, a product of circumstance. Kanhaiya Lal resurrected Sukhi Lal, a role he had played in the 1940 Aurat. He was the moneylender who was evil personified, the deceitful, wealthy man exploiting the working class villagers. However, despite its vengeance, violence, and vendetta, Mother India also hits some tender chords through Radha, the mother figure to the village folk. Underlying those notes of devotion, affection, and sacrifice was the soundtrack of Naushad, with lyrics written by Shakil Badayuni. The music matched the magnitude of the film, its 12 songs encapsulating the best of both worlds. As an example, while the tune of the song Dukh Bhare Din was inspired by an Assamese folk song, this was also the first Hindi movie to use Hollywood-style orchestras and Western classical music for the background score. To bring his saga to screen, Mehboob Khan worked again with dialogue writer Wajahat Mirza, who had also written the dialogues for Aurat in 1940 and for the iconic Mughal-e-Azam a few years later. He also repeated some of the stellar technicians who had worked on Aurat, like editor Shamsuddin Qadri and cinematographer Faridun Irani. Khan and cinematographer Faridun used Technicolor and shot Mother India in brown and orange tones that highlighted the earthy, rural landscape and reflected the sweat and toil of working on the land. It is not surprising then that Mother India was the most expensive film of the time, running Mehboob Khan into great debt. But he spared no expense and even opted to record the sound live on location using the costlier sync sound recording technique. In fact, Mother India was the last big-budget mainstream film to do so, sync sound only being reintroduced decades later with Lagan in 2001. At its heart, Mother India is a patriotic film. Its very title meant to counter the 1927 book by Catherine Mayo of the same title. Her book was a critical attack on Indian society and its treatment of women. Her agenda was to present the book as a justification for British rule. Mehboob Khan chose Mother India to reclaim that title and portray the power and resilience of the Indian woman and of the Indian nation. In fact, a special screening was even held in the capital for the President and Prime Minister of India. Owing to all these firsts and its allegorical significance, Mother India is an irreplaceable landmark in the cinematic landscape of India and continues to be a representation that makes us all very proud. You've been listening to A Century of Stories brought to you by IDFC FIRST Bank. Always you first. I'm Kunal and I'll be back next week to tell you about the first elections ever held in India in 1952.